chemistry major at the University of Richmond, played football there, got drafted to the Detroit Lions in the 11th round in the '86 college draft. Pulled a hamstring training camp, started grad school at the University of Virginia Material Science, went to the Dallas Cowboys, pulled a hamstring again, then went back to UVA, finished my master's, and went to work for NASA, whatever an NFL former player does, right? And then I ended up getting told that I could be an astronaut, and a friend of mine handed me an application, didn't fill it out. When I applied, the next selection I got in, flew in space on 2 missions, STS-122 and 129, and had almost a career-ending injury in the neutral buoyancy laboratory where I lost all my hearing in a training accident. So I never fly, but I kept the path and I flew twice. So installed the Columbus laboratory on the space station with the robotic arm. And then the second mission installed spare parts. It was the first time that 2 African American men were in space at the same time. So it was some nice representation of letting young kids see that you can do and be anything. In a nutshell.
You know me?
Yeah, we were on One Strange Rock together.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. And thank you for what you guys do to help spread the message. As part of this team.
So, full disclosure, I'm actually an art history professor. So, in terms of funding, resources, and the clashes that higher education is right now having in terms of STEM, humanities, and so I really appreciate also your work in this. And so my question is, well, first off, your biography was really wonderfully eloquent in how your storytelling wove a lot about dropping things like Matisse's Icarus, or talking about the micro-window photos by Leland, and that was just really incredibly beautiful. And so I just wonder if you could talk a little bit more about how the arts has played a role throughout your development.
Right. My mother and father were both middle school teachers, and they worked extra jobs and odd jobs to make sure that my sister and I had things like clarinet lessons and piano lessons, and my sister modeled, and we just did different things, but we didn't have a lot of money, but they figured it out. And my dad showed me at a very early age, he said, he drove a bread truck to our house, and I thought we were going to the bread business. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be delivering bread now. He said, no, this is our camper. I said, no, it's not, I can read. Burrito bread and rolls on the side of the truck. And that summer we converted that truck using steam, because when we not only plumbed a propane tank to a plumbing stove, we built bunk beds and footbells in mechanical engineering, chemical engineering. We rewired the entire truck, electrical engineering. But when my mom made the seat cushions for the sofa, that was the artistry and the tapestries and this. So this wove into steam, and it showed me that if you're creative, if you believe in yourself, you don't have to have a lot of money to create really amazing things. And so we drove off out of our driveway that summer in a $500 bread truck with probably $150 in materials. So $650 versus a $25,000 Winnebago. And we were rocking it just like it was a Winnebago. So that's what I learned very early, that you can build, create, and so experiential learning is something that I've always been a fan for. And I'll never forget when I was in Russia working with the Russians, training in Star City with the first crew going to the International Space Station. We would have these meals in the forest. So culinary arts, we're cooking shashlik on skewers and celebrating our diversity over a meal. So when we got to space, with the Russians and the Germans and French and the first female commander, we're all breaking bread like we've been doing this for a long time, which we have. And I think if you can break bread with people that you fight against and that have different headdress than you and eat different food than you can break down these barriers and you can bring people together. And I saw that in space, and so I try to promote that when I come home. I try to promote the arts because that is the tapestry that it weaves to all of us. Music, art, food, beauty. We all love it. We all want it. And so that's that common thread, I think, that can really help save us in this together. My thoughts.
What part, which instrument did you play? Because you mentioned a couple of different instruments.
I play piano now. I took clarinet lessons, violin lessons. My dad had a band. He also made money through his band, so all the musicians would teach me their instruments, just a saxophone. So.
But I mean, let's go back to you're learning these instruments. That's how you think, because they always say that music is mathematical in some ways, right?
So Quincy Jones, while I was in space, Quincy Jones called me up in space, and we had a conversation. This is one of the most incredible things about space. It brings these different people together. And Quincy said, the two true absolutes are math and music. Because if you know math, you know music. And there's no right and left side of the brain. It's really one brain working to do these things. But we tell kids that you're either be technical or artistic. And so we manufacture this barrier in their heads that they can only be one or the other. But when you think about what we do, we're really doing it all at the same time. And Quincy said it so eloquently to me in space. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, Quincy. And then I'm listening to his music on the iPod while I'm, leaving my body home. So it's really.
You've done so much to really encourage STEAM in grade schools and city arts and those projects and such. And in college, it feels like it's this really tense atmosphere where students are told to narrow their specifications, and that's when all of that falls away.
I think liberal arts colleges have tried it because you have to take classes in different areas, and so I think if you go to a technical university, you're going to be kind of forced into this pipeline of the technical stuff. But at the liberal, I majored in chemistry, but I took philosophy, and I took humanities, and I took different things because that's their mission, is to give you a well-rounded education.
What can we do more, I wonder, to help continue fostering that in students?
We can break down we can start with saying you can do it all. You by nature of just as being human beings, we all have these smart devices where we're listening to music, and the overtones in the music is digital signal processing that is really math. And so it's really taking the hood off of what we do every day. The science of cooking. I mean, we're cooking a steak, we're using olive oil, we're making sure the heat gets into the meat and the way to break down the fibers so that it's tender. And you don't cook it all the way, you let it still cook because there's heat conduction going on after you take the heat off of it. So letting people understand that there's science right there. But it's also a culinary art of creating this masterful food. So it's really there in our everyday existence. We don't have the labels, we don't have the language to describe it, I think.
Well, what we're seeing though is one of the things we're seeing though is that the schools, when they're tight for money,
They cut the first.
Which is of course to me absolutely insane, because it's like your brain, it frees up your brain, it makes your brain think other thoughts and greater thoughts, that you would normally not see or think or whatever. So it just
But it's siloed. Education is siloed into a math test. So you've got to do well on two tests, the math test and the reading. Those two are the ones that, right. But when you think about training someone to understand these things, it can be experiential from a project. Let's say, so we're going to build a drone, and you've got to do this part, you've got to do this part, and you've got to help write the report that has to go in about how the drone functions, and then you're going to take the pictures, you're going to make a PowerPoint presentation and talk about this whole process of making the drone. How does the drone fly? That's algebra. It's going to these different points. How does the torque spin up? That's physics. You can distill all of these different disciplines down into hands-on spiritual learning, having all the teachers working together to come up with the curriculum. But we're using an old way of teaching that doesn't necessarily work, but the people that are put in power to make the decisions were trained in the old way of thinking. So,
Well, they train for tests now too, and of course
taking tests.
Yeah, the test focus, focus is so narrow. Is this my?
I think it's supposed to be yours.
So that's, I mean, I think that's part of the problem. But I mean, you guys, I mean, when I say you guys, I mean, you guys are like super successful in the sense that you've done so much, and you're still going to do a lot more. If you go to Mars, hopefully you're from that top, and we'll be showing you around that stuff. But for real. But so I mean, what do we do? Because we have an idea of what the problem is. We know it's in the schools that have lots of money they work towards solving that. But in the other schools, some of the lesser public schools, how do you address that? Because like you said, money is honestly not the issue. It's the thought process. Because what your family is able to do, there's no reason in the world that if there's a thought process behind it, that you can change the thinking so that people say, okay, we have got $60 million, we have to do this. We have to think harder and we have to think smarter because we're less, but we still want to use so much of it.
So I think you go into your community, you see where the problems are, and you know that your congress people, your mayor, your city council people want to solve the problems in the area because that's how they get elected. They solve a problem, they say, look what I did, and so then you get the kids in that community to say, hey, this is the problem. What is the solution to this problem? So this is experiential learning. You're trying to solve a problem. Will.i.am did this after he saw the movie Waiting for Superman that showed the dropout factories. His school, Roosevelt High School, outside of LA, was one of the biggest dropout factories in the country, where the kids just come in and drop out. So he wanted to do something to change this. So he went into his community and he empowered kids to solve problems. Kids went to their city council and got $250,000 to help paint the houses that had lead paint, where the kids were eating the lead paint and getting lead poisoning. So they used GIS data to figure out where the houses were that probably had the lead paint. And then they went and took that data to the council, got the money to fix the houses. But so these kids were actually helping their community because they weren't off doing something. I mean, it's nothing wrong with playing basketball and other things or looking at screens, but they were now part of a solution to their community. And that's experiential learning with problems that are rooted in your community. That's what I think. But what do I know?
Well, you know what I think? When I first watched the show, it made me think like the world is so much bigger than us. So much bigger than
You mean Mars? But
yeah, Mars.
Or Mars?
Yeah,
Mars season 1?
Yeah, but I mean, and then that's what you're talking about, education. I guess that's what the kids need to know. The world is much bigger than us, and we can help each other in life.
And that's one of our missions as astronauts, to let them feel this perspective.
Yeah,
The overall perspective or the overview effect. When you come back from space, you feel like you're connected to everyone. Because you go around the planet every 90 minutes. And there are no borders. And you fly over Afghanistan or Iraq, there's no wars down there. It's beauty. It's the Mediterranean Sea, these things, it's all beautiful. And it changes the way you think about your planet, your society, your neighbors. Your race, the human race.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is.
Do you have any future plans for writing more? Because you're such an eloquent
I'm writing a
speaker.
graphic novel right now.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I just
Perfect place to talk about that. What is it?
It's so cute. My elementary school buddy, Stan Webb, he did my website. Go to my website, lelandmelvin.com, and I've got this thing called steamography. It talks about steamographies. Have you seen that? Okay.
I maybe saw the photographs.
Okay. But we're gonna try to do something called, I don't know if I can say what the title is, but how kids. Come on, man. Wait, shut up. Get out of here. Well, stay tuned to the website.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.